I'm done with my colonoscopy. Oh my God. It was incredibly challenging. And if you want to just know my synopsis, instead of listening to this whole video, I found out an hour after I got done from another friend of mine that there's an option to do a mail-in poop test to check for colon cancer, and that it's not a have to do colonoscopies. And I cannot believe that after the amount of doctors and secretaries and different people that I talked to who I told, I have a sexual abuse history and I have an eating disorder history. And both of those things are feeling extremely triggered by the prep for the colonoscopy and the actual experience of someone being in that area of my body when I am unconscious. And nobody mentioned, oh, you don't have to do this. You could just do a poop test. So that is mostly what I'm feeling right now. Are you serious? I worked so hard to advocate for myself and I didn't know to ask the question because I didn't know there existed one. So you can tell I'm very mobilized around this issue. And if there's anyone else out there in the world who, I'm not a medical provider, so this is just a friend telling me she's older than me and she's never had to have a colonoscopy and she's just doing a poop test and it's fine and her doctor told her to do that. And I don't have any specific um I don't have any colon cancer in the family or anything, risk history or whatever. Wild. Anyways, so I am having my comfort mac and cheese. I can eat. I'm very surprised. I had such massive diarrhea. Ooh, that is salty. I cooked the noodles in salt water. I thought that would be a good choice, but that is a bit salty. Bummer. That might be too salty. Oh, I'm so sad. Okay, we'll address that in a moment. So I thought that I would feel a lot more digestive discomfort afterwards. I've been done for 6 hours now, and I haven't felt any digestive discomfort. A lot of people said there would be continued diarrhea, gas, and I haven't had any digestive discomfort. And right when I got done, I got a massive feast of Taco Bell for me and my kid and ate all of that, which is now easy to digest food. And I don't feel any stomach discomfort. I don't feel anything. So that's good news. I felt really horrible in the middle of the night until the procedure. I felt so much just weak and dizzy and hot and sweaty before I faint, and depressed and anxious and sad. And then the person before me had a complication that made the procedure way longer, which meant I heard them rushing around and calling the ambulance to come get that person. And it meant I was waiting longer. And the nurse came in and was like, a person before you had complications. I'm so sorry. You're next in line. I hope that doesn't make you more anxious. And I was like, it 100% makes me more anxious. Why would it not? But I asked for earplugs. They did not have any, and I wanted mine, but they had told me to leave everything out in this locker thing. So I didn't ask for them. I didn't have my glasses. I didn't have my hat, and there was fluorescent lights in a really bright, sunny, open window. So I just ended up asking for a washcloth to put over my eyes, but they brought me a whole blanket. So that helped a little bit. Then I finally got in, and the doctor was not warm and fuzzy. I didn't super expect him to be, but it was a little hard to, what I asked for was for him to walk through everything that he was doing verbally as he did it, even though I was going to be asleep, because psychologically I wanted my, especially my younger selves and my current subconscious to know that he was getting consent and that I knew what he was doing. I always have them do that when they do a pap smear, and it helps me a lot. And so he looked at me like, he's like, you are going to be asleep. And I was like, I know, it's just psychologically because of my history. I really want you to say what you're doing before you do it. And he was like, okay. Am I going to ever be able to prove if he did or not? Maybe. But, I mean, maybe not. I don't know. But I asked for it, and that was important for me. And then the other thing that was really cool is that when I had that period of extra waiting because the other person had the like complication, I decided to do this visualization from this meditation that I've done with a program called the NARP program through Melanie Tonia Evans. And she does this meditation. It's complicated and involved, but there's one part of it where like angels come and like take the trauma like out of the part's body and like recycle it back to native nothingness. And it always makes me feel really nice, that recycle it back to native nothingness part. And so I did a check-in with my parts as I was laying there, and my little tiny baby like infant part was just wailing, like wailing. And that's the one that has the most trauma around that area of my body. And just like hysterical. And so I just asked for like 100,000 unemployed angels to come and just be with, especially that infant baby, but all of my parts, and like to take away that pain specifically from that area of my body. And I really felt a shift. And I asked for extra angels, for 4 extra angels for every staff person in the room, because I knew they were on high alert because someone had had a complication. And then wildly, once I gained consciousness and was done, the person next to me went into an AFib, I don't know, some kind of a heart thing, and had to be taken away to the emergency room too. So I'm feeling pretty lucky that I came out of that. And like, if I ever have to do this again, I don't want to go back to that same office. But that really helped me to do that visualization before I went in. And then the thing that just like made my whole day when I came out was that there was a nurse who first used she, her pronouns for me, and then corrected themselves and used they, them pronouns for me, like very fluidly, like just beautifully, like didn't even hesitate, and just like kept using they them pronouns. And I had not said anything. It's like in all of my medical charts, but I always assume that people are not going to know or not going to follow through on it. And it was just like such a special blessing and nod from the universe. It just felt like so cool to have it happen so spontaneously and like without me having to advocate for myself. So all in all, I'm really proud of myself for how I moved through it. I would say if I had had to do the like bigger jug of drinking the nasty stuff, I'm sure I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I'm really glad that I advocated for myself to do the Clenpick, which is just like 2 small bottles. The second bottle was much harder to drink than the first. I would say the fasting was extremely difficult for me. And I'm going to be extra, extra, extra special taking care of my part that uses restricted eating as a strategy to protect me. Well intentioned, but not one that I want to be actively using in my life right now. So I'm going to be super using all of my resources, talking to my therapist, etc., about that in the coming weeks, just to make sure, because that was really tough to be like asking that part to be present, even though they've been asked like to allow me to support them and not use that behavior. So it was a mind fuck for sure. And yeah, I will, if I, like in 10 years, they said I will need another one. So at that point, I'm definitely going to ask for the poop sample thing and not the colonoscopy, because this was just brutal for me. But I'm really proud of myself that I took excellent care of myself. I did tons of self-advocacy, which more than I've ever done before, which is a win, and a great opportunity to see myself doing that. I also had to ask for help. I had 2 different friends, one who drove me there and one who picked me up, and so that was also a win. It's a challenge to ask for help, and I was really proud of myself that I was able to do that, and another opportunity for me to just like reassure those parts of me that often are like, you don't have any friends, to just see like I do have a beautiful community that's willing to support me. Um, and yeah, I am feeling like just super fine now. So that's nice. But hell of a week, hell of an ordeal, and really a great reminder of how like you can take really good care of yourself when you're having something challenging. And my kid was so sweet, like everything. I'm really just so glad to see that like in real time when stressors are really hard, it does make a difference to use your resources and take really good care of yourself and your nervous system. So lots of love. See what I can do about this mac and cheese.